Let's try that again. Morning on both sides. The right humor at this time. With all of you, begin by thanking all of our sponsors for this morning's shift. To thank our annual Kabbalah sponsor, Bilton Shach of Eretz Yisrael, for dedicating all the Shem and Joshua to this year's Zikos. So it's the host for Adi Yisrael. Our Kabbalah sponsors for the month of Abu Kabbalah and Rothschild Bennett Goldberg, for Aliyah and Showers of his parents, Avram Ben Asher Pinchas, Pegaris and his mother Pegaris and Baskin Selling, and hopes that all the tefillos of our Kingdom of Hashem, all of Israel, will be answered during this month and the months ahead. Shmuel Yehuda Yilu Nishmas, by our 12 his father, Yitzchak, Ardi, Benach, mother, Yaakov, Zikor, and Bracha, and our week of learning sponsor, David Goodman, Yilu Nishmas, Roy, and Ardi, Zikor, and Bracha, and our Torah. Let us begin. I know we don't have a second story. Who are definitely veterans that we get very different kind of secrecy for those who have get that it so it's fantastic, it's beautiful, it's incredible. Then some of the other sections that we have seen, the next session was going out of days on the album. Only big things love. Also, without already, and basically made a mistake. And then so their mistake, again, they passed them that he was spoiler. That was the mistake that they did. As a result, Israel went ahead and acted with this guy in the first Rashi and that. Totally basic. You don't show Hodu the simple case, basic casket, that Caleb, right, for the back or down is the consumption. They didn't made a mistake. Remember again, the notion of human fallibility is not one that had that concept. Judaism does not have that concept. Why? Worship is not telling us that between to repeat the sin of Rothschild. God. One Avera. One Avera. One Avera. Most of us have read one Avera since God. Right? And Rothschild is written the entire life. I mean, the Torah repeats it over and over again. One. Again, dismiss. Let's go ahead Blood is focused. Now what happened? What happened? The halacha yachid the asa. An individual from Ruben, he wants to eat blood. He goes ahead and he goes out and he has dam. And then he eats blood. Now what's the halacha? The asa is shadat amdi. So again, now also remember, as far as Ruben is concerned, Ruben is acting on the base of the sack of the base. So now the Gemara is what are we talking about a case where base also ate blood together with so they also make the mistake. Whether base just moving went ahead and followed it. But normally, if you eat blood, right? If you eat Caleb, show me what's Navajo, cover condos, sin offering, get into a little bit more of the mechanics of the Kabbalah discussion. But you go ahead and you would normally go ahead and bring things back. That's how that happens. In this case over here, what the Mishnah is introducing us to is whether Ruben does not have to bring a condos. Why do they have to bring a condos? If they should tell them the basics. Because Ruben did not act of his own volition. He made the choice and he acted on the sack of basic. Not a person has no reason to believe that the sack of basic is flawed, and for Halach Lamaisa, he's coming from the condos. Incredible. So as I said, this is what Mishnah over again is introducing us. Basic goes ahead. And if you look at Rashi by Potter, Rashi says it's the first short line from Rashi. Ilahavi kiskos love holil b'tobel b'beisim ba'asasi. So the issue is introducing us to this concept that if basically delivers an erroneous ruling, an individual acts upon that ruling, the individual is protected or absolved from personal liability. Ruben doesn't have to bring up based on the instruction of basic. Oh, that's case one. Now watch this. Total basic of that. So, let's say same case. Basic constant that Caleb is wrong. Again, I will say obviously that individual that we was in a minority. Like, was in the minority. So the majority still carried. Why not? Right? Like, I know that Isaac is wrong. I don't ranking of cost case it actually Caleb and this guy
who's the best at playing baseball? Probably 3 or 4 other teams that win championships right now. You're a big baseball. Not only a big baseball fan. I was sitting in the same seats my dad still sits in. This is you're a kid. You see that crowd, like it's impossible to record. Jose Canseco, the A's were so much better than 1980. Like, yeah. Where game, my first hitting hasn't landed yet. And the place was set. Dodger Stadium was like, oh, fuck. Watch Jose Canseco playing. As a non-backwards fan watching back, was there a beautiful man? And this is a real question. You got 30 Zeno. They got certain guys who are in baseball beautiful men. Right? Zeno's a stud. Yeah, I know. Good guy. Wow, that's her. Yeah. Well, he's that guy. I don't know if he's 6 foot everything. Looks like when you're next to him, he looks like he's a good 7 feet tall. I know he's probably closer to 6 foot. He's always at it. Okay. Well, yeah. So she's fucking judge. I've seen like I don't know. He's still fucking bum. Is he? Yeah. He goes out. You want to challenge Judge no home? Is he with his shoes off a legit 6? I'm gonna say 6'4". I was gonna say I'm gonna go. I love little buds. So I I think I'm shrinking as I get older, especially too many squats. But he 70%, and I will save this for the year. Jose can say punked me, like not open for debate. He went, oh, is that how you're gonna do it? I'll offer this up, and I went, I'm sorry, sir. Wow. I was on the red carpet. This is 2005-ish, 2006-ish. And I had just gotten hired by the Kevin Beach show and lost no experience, and I have no real in broadcasting. I was just in this surreal place where I just wanted to do anything to impress these guys. So they would send me, as it was very common, they would send me to red carpets, especially ones that were a collection of not necessarily the biggest celebrities. If it would who had a lot of experience in a pedigree in broadcasting, they would send me to the young hot Hollywood, during it like at some club, at White Lotus. And I'm at one of the young hot Hollywood party, and it's like the Paris Hiltons, the Nicole Richies, the Jackass guys were there, which was cool. So I'm swinging for the fences. And oh, yes, I did. And he goes, just trying to fucking trying to be funny. And the lion said, "Hey, listen up. There's a pecking order. And I would have been the same fucking. Yeah. You don't do that to the alpha because he's gonna. Story like I was like, hey, you don't want to. Want to cross this line, I may look smart. Like, he pulled me over. There was a metal divider, and he lifted me, pulled me towards. I was like, "What'd you say, dude?" I said nothing, sir. I'm sorry. You ever see when I guess I can shit to Burt Reynolds? They just slap the shit out of him. It was Mark Summers. Remember Mark Summers? He says something like he goes, no, I believe it was. Oh no. I'm sorry, Mark Summers. Burt Reynolds first off. Burt Reynolds should be everyone's coat because Burt Reynolds was in an acting class. Slap the guy too. In my acting class. Will Smith slapped Chris Rock. No, I'm pretty sure he slapped the guy at the. But was it like that? That was a ring slap. That was like, hey, shut your mouth. But that was more like, what the fuck you doing? Yeah, that's an older guy who said, hey, wake up. You know, kind of like that. You know, let's see. Oh, because he tried to kiss him. He gave him a little backhand slap. Takes you back up. I don't know. That's an slap the piss. Yeah, that's an older guy who said, hey, wait, kind of like that, you know. Let's see. Can I try and kiss him? Slap. So again, you want to like this total piece. Takes you back. There's a thing appropriate. I kind of agree. I mean, there's a thing though that gets lost when people, and I think has made it as such, and that I got these weird idealized delusions of grandeur of me being John Wick beat the shit out of me when I was like 17 years old. And I think when the majority of people live on the internet, that doesn't happen, and they still have these weird ideas of what. And like, I remember there was a Jamie Kennedy experiment. Do you guys remember that? So it was like politics. Jamie Kennedy did it. It was on, I believe it was on WB. And there's just one episode, and I'm so fascinated by this medium because it was a gang member, like an evident Los Angeles gang member. Yeah, a giant, really intimidating looking black dude. And the skit was, the prank was that he got a good job at delivering papers. They were doing door-to-door stuff, maybe it was. And like, people get Jamie. He's in a costume. First day job. So what we do is we drive around here in this neighborhood. What we deliver prank was that the neighborhood kids like throw stuff and make fun of them throughout there. And this guy was like a crip. And at some point, like halfway through the bit, he's like, oh, wait, is this music allow this to happen? And Jamie Kennedy's playing the bit. He's like, oh, they're just the kids that are doing their thing. And like after 2 or 3 more times, this guy stops. He's like, stop the car. And he's looking at the kid and he was ready to fucking serve these little boys. Like, he was ready to, he's like, you can't just disrespect me. And Jamie Kennedy, and they actually, what I love was they actually continued with him, put this on TV. That's cool. I mean, Jamie Kennedy's like, stop. And he pulls out like his mic, he's like, to the producer, he's like, stop the bit. And guys come all out, and they talk to this guy, this gentleman. They're like, listen, this was all, we were really sorry. Maybe we didn't brought the guy in studio, and he's like, we're really sorry. And this guy didn't smile one time. Like, go. Fuck around and find out it's not a joke. It's not like an internet meme. You're a regular guy. And you can teach his boxing. He boxed for a guy. He's just a little bigger. Maybe a little sloppy. I think it's an important lesson to do.
You're allowed to have four practice.
Yeah, just getting giant with cauliflower ears may have, and I'm not even gonna get into like macho meat and stuff. I can tell you how many stories I have of like being in NAMM, which is like the new kind of record industry show, like Comic-Con for music, and seeing like John Five, who probably most famously was Marilyn Manson's Johnny Five was Marilyn Manson's touring guitar player, and like I can play, Jen and I can sit here and wax about playing guitar. I love guitar. I can play. Watching him, he had this who had like Hello Kitty and like Carol Croby, like Japanese toy guitars and stuff. And the thing that was out of tune, and he started playing Christian tuning. And I was like, oh, this is for a living. This is a different really like you're around it every day. Like you said, I mean, I'm sure you've been there where you're seeing someone who's Brian's a good athlete, a talented guy, and he works hard and combat sports. And next to someone who especially like he had you like, oh, what the fuck? What are you doing every day? What are we doing now? It's different, Brian's for fun and a job. Like when you go for a job in that regard, it's like I've created funny stuff. I was live on the air for 20 years in like a really large market, various large markets. When it comes to performing by myself in front of a crowd trying to capability there, and then you go to a really good comedy club and see people who have been on tour for years. When I brought my lovely wife, it is so good. How long did you do? January. It is so good. I've seen Brian live a dozen times over years, and I sincerely believe this is the best lunch work. I sincerely believe this is the best work he's ever done because there's Brian silliness where he's a samurai and he's the best fighter in the world that he trains with the sword. But then there's also moments where you're very, very meaningful. And I think when funniest living can be one. Yes. How do they get it, Brian? If anyone wants to watch it, YouTube channel. Yeah, take a little break here, man, because one thing, we did a lot of stuff, and some of my stuff came to the house. We're talking about Fabletics. I thought it was only for my wife, but it was actually for me, because she orders Fabletics all the time. And now your boys Fabletics B. Yeah, man. Yeah, it's a great cutoff. I got 80% off everything, and after that, the membership is about $60 a month. Unless I skip, the monthly fee gives me exclusive credit. I can use bucks for the first time. They're not just about good deals, they're also doing eco-friendly stuff. Half their materials and their company has been carbon neutral since 2021, which is pretty great, B. I love it. Pretty great. So guys, treat yourself. Secure the looks good, feels good. It doesn't break the bank with Fabletics, okay? Or I should say Feebletics, whatever it is, but go to fabletics.com/TTK. That's fabletics.com/TTK. Sign up as a VIP, get an 80% off everything. That's fabletics.com/TFTK to sign up as a VIP and get 80% off everything. You're welcome. Yeah, square one, but I'm writing some funny shit. I just did some other shit last night. That feels really good. Like, it feels really good. You did Rogan yesterday? I 2 days ago. It's funny because when you do Rogan, you get into a conversation, and it's not conducive to stop the conversation. It's not why you're there. You just do the podcast, and I'll mention it later. I don't know how to do people that aren't in our space. Yeah, right? So I'm not wrong not to have started it that way. You're supposed to do. Yeah. No, well, and also it's different than giving an idea as your friends. You and Rogan have been friends for 30 years. Yeah, I think for talking business would be not only probably bad taste, but it'd be weird. That's what happens. I'll get people that come to me and they're really serious offers, and I'll say things like, and I get it, but they'll say, look, you have access to celebrities. If you bring this offer to them, you will find your site. And I always say, there's never I could never go up to my friend. I would also say, I'm asking you this. If you say yes, I'll get money. I could never do that without telling him that. But of course, I wouldn't do that. Sometimes when it's a crazy offer, I say to him, hey, here's a text. Here's what I got. Do you want to do this? I'm just asking you because I have to know the person. I'll be a conduit, but that's it. And it's probably 10 times worse for someone of the stature of Joe Rogan. But I certainly deal with it with Dr. Well, they'll hit me up and present me these, and they'll say that this could be great. And I get put into a weird position because sometimes it is actually a great product or a great service, but at the same time, I'm like, do I want to compromise my relationship with him? And Rogan's strength is his ability to say no to almost everything. And I know these get some certain offers like, holy shit, and his shit is, I don't want to do that because that's going to bring a whole bunch of energy in this direction that I'm going to attenuate for. Also, he doesn't need to do it. Like, you're not, I know you're trying to be different. It's not helping him out. It's like, I respect it so greatly because he could. There's plenty of people in the public space who will just take any gig because they're just greedy or whatever. And I respect that. He was doing that before he was. Yeah, so he was doing that. I'll never forget. He was probably 33. Can you look at when down came out 2 or 3? Yeah. Let me just see. I'm gonna tell you exactly what happened. It was crazy. And he called me up. And he goes, he just said, damn. Okay. Then there was another audition. And he looked at that script and he said, I don't want to do that. they were like, what? We just gave you the. He goes, yeah, you're gonna give me the part, I'll do what I'm saying, but I'll. And I called his agent, they're like, he's got a bad attitude. And I don't think I'm gonna act anymore. I don't want to do this shit again. He had stand up. Yeah, he wasn't that great at fear factor. He had fear factor, or he was by 2010 he had fear factor. Yeah, but when you say screw, and he said it, actually, he's had said it personally. He was probably making a lot, but it was $2 million. So after that, $1 million. And what I'm trying to say is that it was never the money. He always behaved. I remember him when he was 28. He would spend money because he believed in himself. I understand. I respect it so greatly because I will be very honest. I think because I got into being in the entertainment industry, being a performer, I hear almost all of you guys and your crew, and you're like, at a very young age, I wanted to be, and I was willing to do what it took to get there. I don't know, especially now. When the industry is so different, and certainly like I don't know if I'd have it going for me when I was making right now. Yeah, I mean, I was talking yesterday. I was talking to the staff at Wednesday. Well, I don't know what kids do now to separate themselves. Like I don't. It's your niche. We're the first like dynamic duo, and there was a ton of podcasts. Now it's like first professional athlete pod, first comedian athlete duo, and so we're not. It's funny you say, I didn't interrupt you, but I remember being luxury of getting behind the curtain, how crazy professional media companies were with how they handled you and what they thought they could do. Get out of 80%, right? You get to work for us, and you get some profits. They didn't know. At the time, they didn't know. And then they were just giving us a student everything that we need to do YouTube. And then they saw the contract of like, okay, we're going to take 7%, and then because it's like, because you're in our ladder head, right in the bottom of your cross. That's right, you said nobody cares. You remember that was like, what are you talking about? And then you went bad on them. You went bad on them. The guy was like, the next day. Well, no, I know you like, talk about this stuff. He's like, dude, not talk about the show. Okay. Right, we had no podcast, and I just went, and then we came in the next day, and it's like, let's get English, and then this giant football player, huge guy, was a little bit, he was with that, and then you were like, you were fighting still, and you were like, we can tussle. Yeah. I remember that too. The whole thing. The point is, like, I know, like, back then it was such a unknown, and there wasn't a million podcasts. Now, when kids are like, they're trying to get started now, I don't know lives, and we have built an audience we've been doing for so fucking long. But say, like, 25-year-olds to 30-year-olds, like, they were you gotta get on Celtics Cups. No, those are the two that sell tickets. It's almost like Carson back in the day. They're like had young men in my life, regardless of what you want to do right now. If you want to have a podcast about sheet metal, about awesome. Everyone and their mother is trying to make money by being famous. If you learn how to do something and you get really good at it, do something really pulls weight, like if shit in the van, you can actually that's the best thing you do. And by the way, there's always one of the greatest things about being genuinely talented in the entertainment industry is that there's no time limit. Regis is doing what I consider to do with the rest of my life. Regis did it till the day, literally till the day he couldn't do it. It's not like being an athlete. It's not like being like you can do it forever. And also with AI, like if you have a trade, like AI is a great place. Also, more importantly than because Rabbi ever like really wildly successful from an objective standpoint. But what I will say is I do spend a lot of time looking at I'm very wrapped up in my you know what people my breaks and they call me knife fixing. I do really good. That's literally the only thing that's I had to go. I came without like talking to you. Like, you ever so bad? Like, my feeling I got this special and nobody, it doesn't matter. Like, in a way, it doesn't matter. Specials aren't special anymore. They're not squatches. That's what Dan, like, it doesn't matter. Like, towards the end of it, like that medium of like special used to be special. Now they've just lost their. And I'm not saying their special's not important. It's important. But what I'm saying is, it's not to me. Like some old heads, it's important. But in this day and age, like to have and watch an hour of stand-up, it's just not anything. I don't. It's like I don't know what to do. It hurts my feelings. So that's why I was trying to tell you yesterday. It's the Brian Callen problem. Yeah. Everyone's dealing with it. Right. So I felt so terrible. Like it's like terrible. And like I said last night, I have that. Yeah. Why is that? Why do you want to tell me sometimes I have tickets so I can continue to do it. Yeah. And that hurts my feelings. Let me I was being totally and Neil was like, hey, how do you feel like when you're on the road to certain markets and and Jim Norton, he's been doing it. Yeah, I used to do, there's a time where I did fairs, and then there's a time now where I'll have to close on the man Chicago. Man, this weekend, I'm in sit down. And Jim City Limits. Yeah, and Jim goes, I'm going to stop you. It's trust me, if people want to come see me, tell them out. Hey, listen, I know what you're trying to do. It's me. It has nothing to do with saying I take responsibility. Yes, I take responsibility. That's one thing. It's almost, yeah. You keep chasing, and you just gotta sit still. And if the butterfly lands and lands and does, I think you're right. All it is letting go of this fucking crazy thing that I'm chasing. I don't even know what it is. Maybe it's because I have financial responsibilities. Maybe it's yeah, and my feelings are hurt. My feelings are hurt for what happened with yours is. I mean, we have this whole discussion. And I'm mad for you. I'm not mad at it, but like yours isn't a case of really famous and then put in the work and died off. You can only burn for so long. I don't give a fuck who the athletes, whoever it is. Those guys that far. You can only burn for so long, so bright. You burn for a long fucking time. You come down, dude. You gotta come down. The difference between your down was your come down. A rate price of you didn't have control of it. That's why we get like you're like, I'm just gonna back out, throw it all again. You didn't have the choice. So your life got damaged from things that weren't in your control. That's why I get mad. So you and all the other commentators, what's fucking crazy, what's crazy about that challenge is that this is so crazy. You have to forget. Let's take a break here. Just dude, your boy is swapping parts on my Jeep 392, and I'm doing with the help of our friend. It's at O'Reilly Auto Parts, dude. What if you didn't have that? They got you. They went cheaper. They got about everything else. They are in the business of keeping your car on the freaking road. Friendly, those staff helpful, friendly, and knowledgeable. Dude, whatever you need for all your maintenance, every repairs, they've got 1,000 parts and accessories in stock or in stock. If you're in a jam, like for anybody who's listening, people are gonna do shit to you. I was talking to Rogan about this. I'll use yeah. Don't forget, big difference. And I also think, look at that. I always look at it as this. I think all of us need chaos. There's so many things that are way worse. Do what you will with me. I know who I am. You stay close to the truth. You're gonna eat a dick. You're gonna pay a price. But I think that perspective is also good. But all of these things are a learning experience. The only way out is through and learn them is that way. You know, well, the reason I get kind of upset regarding both of you gentlemen for two different reasons. The reason I want Brian to not have a feeling of malaise, feeling of disappointment with what he does. So many people, especially in the last 10 years, 15 years with YouTube, with social media and stuff, like they have this idea and then something catches something goes viral and that's how they make a living. I watched this guy to the road. And then he gets an MTV show at the Orange County Improv or something like that. out. And he's funny, man. He's playing different characters and different hangover. And then he tries this podcast. I go on the podcast. The one's like man school kind of thing. I have like right, it didn't work out. And then next year, I'm going to do a show with an MMA fighter. It's just like no one had what you had. You love what you do, and you keep going. And it's like that. Those are the people who deserve to be celebrated. And my only advice is like keep that in mind. Sure, you would love cash the same checks that you once cashed. Sure, you probably, because you and I are coming from a different generation, you probably compare yourself as a successful comedian to Eddie Murphy doing wrong. I'm surrounded by friends who thought that. Right, but the idea of a touring comedian and then is like, okay, say you're Seinfeld in his peak and Eddie Murphy in 1986. It's like, that's, there was a time and a place where a kid is selling out. You're in the middle. Yeah, and it's like you just gotta look at it because like at the end of the day, can you sit comedian and no one's ever helped me down? Because there's a lot I can truly listen to something for what I do. Right, I do. I write funny ass dude. When you can hold somebody, I love the metrics. When you can hold tension, right, for 4 seconds, 4 seconds. That is considered a win. Nobel Prize. That is considered a win. That is considered. It's not very long time. I mean, what are we dealing with? Not good. And then I don't know if you've seen this, but they're taking AIs. Somebody, whoever's trying to take Eminem songs and all these different songs and turning them into blues songs. And this is not a real person singing. And the voice of the music is so good that it's actually astonishing. And you start to go, what's going on here? Because I'm actually loving this music. Right? Rogan put it on. Yeah, I got into it because Rogan put on it. Yeah, but put on. But like, I love the Lies You Tell. I think by Eminem, I think it's called. I love the way you lie to me or some shit. It's so good. And he put it on, and he goes, this is AI. I don't think it's good. And I was like, I get it. Look at this way. What's going on? What is happening? Well, the need to enjoy both and keep things in perspective. I was on my way over here listening to Slayer, but Slayer songs but done as Funk. And it's fucking awesome. I mean, it's fucking awesome. Like, Parliament Funkadelic has never had music this amazing, and Slayer's never sounded cooler. The reality is, it sounds awesome. I would love to listen to it. No one wrote that, right? Jeff Hanneman had to go and write those riffs and bring the Kerry King and write the lyrics. And then, Parliament Funkadelic and Bootsy had to give bass lines, and then George Clinton had to order track. So that's where the human connection to something changes, and you can grow. I was going to ask you, I was going to say, we grew up that way. Our young kids, if this isn't normal, our young kids really going to care. This woman is like married to Luigi Mangioni's AI. So she's essentially ill. Yeah, but this is a whole thing. Well, for people having relationships with AI, they'll care. I'll tell you, I don't touch tits. I can touch your ass. Touch tits. I can really. I look at younger generations with much less cynicism than I think because I say, like, you gotta understand, like, if I was talking to these kids at jiu-jitsu and they're 21 years old, and they're talking about how they don't know who Park I can meet chicks on my shoulder. I told them maybe, you know, dating apps and everything. And then I was like, so ready to do. 20-year-old Mike had the ability to get pussy through my phone and not leave. I went to bars and clubs all day. Like, you know what? I had to. There was not going to be a reasonably attractive girl walking through the skill of talking, communicating. Absolutely. It's so many different people. And you're doing the whole, you're hanging at such a better time than you swear on your phone. You guys are fucking it all up. You're fucking the whole game up. The best. You're missing out. The best. Because even if you struck out the hot chick, like shit with your boys and you get roasted, you have a drink. You and I met when I was my best. I mean, you know, best. And you're missing out. Don't ever tell them about the time you went home. Let's use something that's a little less dense. That this man is so up against kids are used to doom scrolling and they're looking at. There's a scene where Don Draper decides he's going to drink. It's too much. He's calm. He's just gonna have a white knuckle. But in the morning he goes swimming instead of sleeping in, and he goes to the couple of the other co-workers of his, pour themselves a cocktail, and he's listening to the glasses clink with the ice, and the scene has John Hamm, and he's kind of sitting there like this, and he's starting to move his hands a little bit. You can see the nervousness, the anxiety in his face. And I'm watching this in my house, in my apartment in Venice, and I just vomit. I just vomited all over my table because I had such a deep. Exactly. Do I want everyone to have to be? No, but there's going to be. You're going to watch. My daughter and I were watching Johnson. My daughter's 11, so at the time she was 10 years old. And there was this moment where they're in kind of broken, and the three survivors are sitting there at the end, and it's just no soundtrack or anything in the ocean still. You can hear the ocean. They know that Jaws is in there somewhere. But it goes on for like 90 seconds. You know, you don't see it. And my daughter, like, God, this is so tense. And it just goes to show that she's a product of this fast pace. But something's going to happen where you go, like, oh, this is nice. And I'll, you know, waiting for my car to get done in service, I'll sit there and look at chicks with fat asses and guys, you know, punching each other in the face. Yeah, I think we're going to adjust. There's going to be adjustment. My best for this, my best evidence is my daughter was having a sleepover. She's 11 now, but she was probably just 11. Yeah, I know. And she got my wife's hot second. She got my wife's family's genetics, so she's like 6. Like I come from a small way. Very little people, and so it's very funny to see that. It blows my mind. But she had a sleepover a couple years ago, so she was like 9-ish. And there's 10 9-year-old girls sitting there. And they're like, let me see your tattoos. They were making fun of me and just like showing them, let me see your tattoos. And I was showing them different ones and telling them stories. And I wrap it up, I'm like, you got tattoos? Tattoos when you're 18? It's stupid. And rebels and rock stars and now one of their parents, at least one of them, has a full sleeve and fucking cool tattoo. And so they go like, well, this is stupid. I'm not going to do it. That's funny, that is right. And I think that there's going to be a generation of people who grew up watching their mom and dad go like this, and they're like, fuck that, I'm going to listen records on vinyl. I'm gonna watch him in it. Have you seen the church going on? I know that it's up big time. Oh, it's up big time. Church, monogamy. Well, he takes the credit for John Weaver gives him. We have to give him serious credit for bringing what may very well be an actual real peace to the Middle East. Yeah, I mean this is so incredible because this dude. And my joke is he brought peace to a region of the world that's been at war since Moses had a parting ways with the Pharaoh. And Homeboy did this, and you're going to see the money in the Middle East. Saudi Arabia, UAE, all these big players, Qatar. There's more profit in the East now with Israel. It's just better for business. That's all they want. As soon as someone goes, hey, make more money, actually get along with it. Yeah. And what bothers me also is they don't have to kill people for problems. Right. Like, really? Yeah. No, really? And then how guys actually work together to make more money. Right. Yeah. And Hollywood now in Hollywood, of course, which is, there's a real there about the overt destruction of Gaza. Yes. But now you see what Hamas is doing with their executing their own people in the streets. Yeah. It's not a fucking word. Not a hey. I think just chop their head off on camera. Yeah, right. Well, they killed 30 members of one family, like for collaborating. I mean, it's a lot of members of one family. Yeah, it's not part of the world. It's not part of the plan. So in that part of the world, you live with your cousins, and it's amazing that they keep tight together. That's why the entire family bloodlines being wiped. When they hit Gaza, people live under a one. It's one thing that I actually, like the resurgence of like religion in general, and you start to see a lot of these girls on Instagram and TikTok and these beats are being like trad white. That's traditional kind of like, hey, it's awesome. It is. It's so fucking happy. She's got 2 kids and I pay the bill. And I respect the shit out of my wife. Like the shit out of in that always been religion. I have a big feeling of connection to it. But I go to church like 4 times a year. You can't be religious. You don't have to go to a man-made bill. Yeah, I do. Follow. I think when you're spiritual versus religious, no, that's not how it works. Do everything right and still treated horribly and terribly, which is the symbol of Christ. So, it's called sacrifice. What do you sacrifice? What do you give? Yeah, at 11. Yeah. It's like my mom's sitting here. My mom's on my whole life. Because I've seen you think it's sports. Well, yeah, but do you ever, like, because you know, you pick her up, tea and bossy up there. There's nothing better, right? But anyway, I don't want to wake up his brother. So I go, tea, wake up, and he's gonna, I'm like, wake up, I'm gonna catch you. And he's fucking, I'll catch you. He's like, really? I'm like, yeah, just jump. He jumped like, Jesus Christ. And then I'm like, oh, wait up. And then he puts his uniform on, and I start getting up. And he's like, Dad, why do you do that? get so many cool cars here. Slow the fuck. I was just like, what? I'm just. Coming up forward. He puts on his uniform, yeah, and I'm just like, yes. Yeah, and I your daughter's 5 right? Yeah, that's 11. Yeah.
Shut up.
You have my mom's sitting here. My mom, I'm like, hold on, 5 seconds. Because I've seen that. Well, yeah, but you know, since she was a baby, they pick her up. She had a game with the 5 game with me. There's nothing better, right? But he was bad. I didn't want to wake up. So I wake up, he's on it. He's just jumped down and catch. And he's lucky. Yeah, right? I'm like, I'll catch you. He's like, really? He set him down. I'm like, oh, and then he put that because I'm looking at the next year in judge. Because we celebrated judge here. No, I was like, holy fuck. Slow down, buddy. Yeah. Slow down. I want Venom. So there's Venom on TV. Oh my god, we're gonna get so many cool cars here in the world. No. I was like, holy fuck. Slow down, man. I see something like, and then he put them on it. You know, I started getting choked. I'm like, Dad, why are you crying? The next year in judge. So, it's oh my god, we're gonna get so many cool cars. No, I was like, slow down, buddy. Yeah, slow the flight. I'm just living. It's incoming a boy. Puts on a uniform, and I'm just like, holy fuck. And every year, paint their face. Yeah, they paint their face. And Bossy's 5. I would have. What? Here's not down, John. Yes, no. Yeah. No, slow, dude. It's so hard to live in that. It's heartbreaking, but at the same time, idiots, you know, watching like about our kids getting older, but all the cynicism for the rest of human history however long we last on this planet, this is going to be here. And it's like, just my advice to you guys, you 20-year-old kids out there, and you're already to make fun of us, and I get it, do what you want to do, but just trust me, like, this is when you're 90, you'll be looking at it, and you'll be staring at your deathbed, and you will say to yourself, like, shit, none of it mattered. Only thing that mattered was this. This weekend, I'm going away with my 3.5-year-old, 14-year-old, my 85-year-old dad. So it's 2 sons. Yeah, man, Michael, I'll tell you something, buddy. Did you ever see how your dad treats your son? Oh, my mom and my daughter said, I'm like, tracks. Okay. What the fuck? What are you doing? I can't treat him like that. My dad's great. Actually, my dad's very hands off, but he's also like, he's also smart. He makes me laugh so hard. And I'm in a restaurant food. I'm in Elizabeth Street for my phone, and it's something like not anymore. I'm FaceTime right here, and I'm just FaceTime with my son, 14. I go,